All right, well, we're back in the saddle. Having a lot of fun doing it. Little different setup this week. Ryan's actually gone, so I got to fill in my co-host this week. He lives next door. Cool dude. You probably heard me talk about him in previous podcasts, so I figured, why not have him on?
Why not? Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you're off this week, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Vacation this week.
How many vacation weeks do you get a year?
I get 7.
7.
7. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it works for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Couple personal days, 2 personal days, and 7 weeks off.
So what do you have to do to like get 7 weeks off?
You got to work 30 years in a factory.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted thinking about that.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it beats you up pretty bad, but
Yeah.
we weasel our way through it. You know.
I think when I moved back here 5 years ago, all my uncles work in a factory.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess now that I'm a little bit older and I have a family and I have like real bills to pay, you know, a mortgage, car payment, stuff like that. It always amazed me, these guys who could just work and work and work and hours doing the same thing. I've got a ton of respect for guys like you.
I tell you, as you get older, it gets tougher. Believe me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's 8 hours a day, 6 days a week on a 4-color flexo printing press, lamination. It's quite a technical job.
Yeah.
It's actually very interesting and kind of fun doing it, but it just, after a while, it gets to you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
you know,
I suppose.
stomping around on concrete every day, you know. And
You have to have like special boots or shoes or anything?
yeah, we use steel toe boots and hearing protection, eye protection.
Yeah, all day, every
Gloves
day.
when we work with chemicals, and, you know, safety's number one. And so,
Cool, man.
yeah.
Well, this guitar over here keeps staring at me. It's like winking at me. Dude,
cool.
where'd you get that thing?
I bought it at an auction about a week and a half ago. And it was kind of funny because when I went in there was 5 guitars in cases. And that one had it was in the case along with the other ones, but there was another guitar on top of the case. So I peeked in there and I'm like, ooh, that looks cool. I'm going to bid on that. So I talked to the auctioneer. I says, I was wondering, we got to get out of here a little early. Like the auction normally goes till about 9 o'clock. He said it can go to. I said, well, we'd like to leave at around 6:30. Could you post that on the auction a little earlier? So I'll see what I can do. And then it came up on auction. We got there at 5, and I think it was come up on auction about 5:30. And I kept bidding, got up to $100, and I won.
$100?
$100.
Okay,
$100.
not bad at all.
And I've been looking it up online, and I cannot find another one like that. If anybody can find one, and maybe tell me what that little switch, or it's like a rocker thing on the bridge there. I don't know what it does. It looks like it mutes the strings of some sort. But
Interesting.
yeah.
So it's what does that say, a Winston?
A Winston guitar. From what I hear, they made them in the 60s.
Huh.
So mid-60s and possibly up until the 80s.
That's really cool.
Rumors I heard. But, you know.
You collect a lot of stuff, though, like a lot of cool vintage stuff, don't you?
Yeah, old Honda mini bikes and Schwinn Stingrays and stuff like that. And,
Jeez.
yeah, have a lot of fun doing it. On my birthday this year, we took the Stingrays out, and I think we had 15 of them or something.
You have 15 Stingrays?
I think I counted 15, yeah. So
Holy cow.
we had a bunch of people over. We rode around the block, and it was kind of vintage. We had fun.
So they have like the banana seats.
The banana seats,
and
butterfly handlebars, shifters on the top tubes, and some do. Some are 2-speed, some are 5-speed, some are single speeds. And from, I think the oldest one I got is a 1966 black fastback. And that's the first year Schwinn came out with the shifter on the top tube.
Oh, interesting.
So
Was that the first geared bike then, or?
No. They had 2-speed kickbacks, and they had 5-speed collegiates, and you know, they had 5 speeds for quite a while before that. But on the 20-inch versions, 5-speed I think came out in 65 on the Schwinns. Don't quote me on that, but
Sure.
somewhere on there.
How do you normally get these these bikes?
You know, I go on eBay. I go to rummage sales. I go Craigslist. You know, and you got the word out. And if you work in a factory, it's kind of convenient because you're working with a lot of people. And in the break room, you can kind of tell them, hey, I collect bicycles, you know,
Sure.
look for me. So you got
Yeah.
ton of people looking.
Right.
And friendly enough to let you know. And I got a few that way.
That's cool. So, okay, you just 15 on that bike ride. So how many do you have total?
Oh, bicycles?
Okay, well, let's narrow it down. Okay, we can do bicycles, or we can just narrow
Probably
it down to your Schwinn's
Probably about 30 bikes, maybe.
total.
So, yeah,
Pedal bikes.
Yeah.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I might be selling them in the near future. So get your ears open. Yeah.
You can email us. Email us at Ryan and Dave Saves the World,
yeah.
gmail.com.
There you go.
We'll put you in touch with Randy.
Uh-huh.
As his neighbor, I can attest to he's always working on something, fixing something.
Yeah.
So you taught me a cool trick to get rust off, chrome.
Oh, yeah. There's
just water and
tin foil.
and tin foil.
That works great. I mean, there's other ways to do it. I mean, it's the surface rust that lies on top of the chrome. And when you take it off, there's probably a little pinhole where that rust is coming out. And it kind of sweats out and makes a little residue, a brown residue on the chrome. That stuff, the tin foil and water will take off. But if it's too bad, you're going to have to just strip and rechrome it. But
Gotcha.
You know, but
easy fix if it works.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
I've done
And
many
cheap.
wheels that turned out just beautiful doing that. And some say don't do it. It scratches, but I haven't seen that. So, I mean, it's the chrome isn't good. You can take different chrome cleaners, and there's stuff out there. Semichrome is a good one. And there's a few other. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but they're out there. There's chrome cleaners. Go to your probably automotive shop would have the best to select from.
Do you have any other cool like hacks? You know, like tricks.
As far as
I don't know.
fixing
Yeah,
bikes,
maybe. Yeah, since we're on the subject,
that
maybe could apply to other things. You know,
off
not
the
to
top
put you
of
on
my-
the spot.
Yeah, you did.
Well, think about
But
it. If it comes to it.
I do have things. I'm sure I come up with things all the time. Like I got a little mini lathe I make things on too. I like to mess around with that. Make little parts for obsolete little parts like throttle, linkage, or whatever.
Sure.
You know.
You almost have to be able to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have a screw or something that isn't quite right, and it has to be machined on the end to fit in the threads and actually look halfway decent. You know.
Sure.
So you want to do it right.
That's cool.
You just got to have the tools.
Yeah. Wow. The other day I heard you zipping around with like a gas-powered RC car?
Oh, yeah. That's an old T-Max 1.5. It's a four-wheel drive truck. I bought that probably 10, 12 years ago. And my grandson came over and he says, "Grandpa, what's that?" I said, "Well, that's an old art radio control truck. Can you get it going?" He said. I said, "Well, it needs some parts." Well, I found the parts. So we got it going and buzzing around, and we're having a lot of fun with that.
That's
the
cool.
other day.
How fast does it go?
Oh, gosh. It's actually got a 2-speed transmission. And when it hits it doesn't quite shift into the second gear on the grass, but on the road, I think it looks to be about 35.
Wow.
Yeah. It goes pretty fast.
Yeah, that's
maybe even faster. Yeah, it zips. But I've never really opened it up in second gear. It hits second, and then I gotta slow down because I can't see it anymore.
I suppose
there's a corner.
You need like a big parking lot or something.
Yeah.
You tried flying planes too, right?
Yeah. That I didn't have a lot of good luck on. Could have a 20-acre field. If there's a tree in the middle of it, I'm hitting it. And I have hit trees with flying airplanes.
That sounds complicated because nowadays everyone just has drones.
Yeah.
And it's almost like really intuitive because of the propeller system on them. It's almost...
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you can hit and crash, obviously, but they're not combustion engines. You know, they're just, I don't know. So flying a model
plane, it's interesting because when you're going away, and plus you're looking up in the air, you always got to pretend you're in the cockpit.
Sure.
And when you're going away from you, right is right. The right wing's going to tip down and turn right. But when it comes coming towards you, then it's opposite. So then now you got to think, okay, I'm in the cockpit again. Okay, now, okay. And then by that time it's over. You're going away from you again. Then it's just like, you got to be on your toes when you fly them things. And you got to have some pretty good insurance too, because they can do a lot of damage.
Oh, I bet.
Oh man.
How big was it roughly? Like the wingspan?
I think it was 48-inch wingspan. So it seems big, when you're looking at it on the ground, but once it gets up there, it's like a mosquito.
Yeah.
It really shrinks up.
Yeah, 4-foot wingspan is pretty substantial.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a small child.
Yeah. No, it's. I've had some bigger than that. I had a glider that I think had 60 inches. And that's kind of neat. It had the old Cox engine on there, 049, and you get it going and you just throw it. And then it's got a 2-channel radio, a rudder, and an elevator, and you steer it that way. And it just kind of comes down to earth after it runs out of gas. And hopefully it won't hit that tree that I hit with that. It destroys. But you can rebuild them. They're balsa wood,
Right.
You can get the covering and the glue, and it works out pretty good. Just don't want to get it too much heavier than it was. It always gets heavier after you make a repair, because the glue weighs something, and it's kind of something that you got to think about. Oh, Dave, I hear you like to drink beer.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't mind.
Occasionally, I thought I might have seen you drink one once in a while.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. We need to talk about our beer of the week. And this one is from New Glarus.
New Glarus.
Yep, which is it's a Wisconsin brewing company.
Okay.
And New Glarus, they make Spotted Cow.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever.
Yeah,
well,
I have heard of them.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
So New Glarus, this is Moon Man.
Moon Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a slight hoppy ale taste to it. A little piney.
It's like a fruity, almost an orange.
Fruity, orangey, piney kind of. Just little zip, little bite to it.
Good. Very good. It's not too rich. I mean, it's got a little slight bitter aftertaste.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for me, but it is okay. I don't like hoppy beers, though, either.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Either like it or you don't.
Yeah, too hoppy of a beer, I get a little bit of indigestion a little bit.
It affects you
in a
bad way.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. The acidity has something to do with it. I have no idea.
I don't know what hops. They're just a kind of a, I don't know, plant thing,
Yeah. So last week, or a couple weeks ago, we did, have you ever heard of Sawmill Brewing Company?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, we've gotten growlers of beer from them before.
Uh-huh.
They have some good stuff.
Sure.
They brew their own. We've done a few others in the past episodes, but I think that might be the first New Glarus beer that we've had.
Cool. I think it tastes good. I mean,
yeah.
I
drink it again?
I would drink it again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. Hey, how long have you been living in this neighborhood?
Since 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just live a mile down the road since 1986, though. So. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are your stomping grounds.
Pretty much. Well, I grew up here, and a mile from that was the place my parents own here. So, yeah, I've been in Rib Mountains since 1968. So,
dang.
Yeah. And then I was in Wausau for 4 years. Before that, we moved to Appleton for 1 year. So, basically, Wausau, Wisconsin, Rib Mountain is pretty much my hometown.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever go on vacations or do anything like that? Because you got 7 weeks of vacation.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I know.
geez,
I just like hanging around, working on bikes, and
Sure.
doing stuff like that. But we'll go to Door County, and I'm kind of almost bordered to the state. I don't know. I just love Wisconsin.
Sure.
Rib Mountain has a ton of things to do. You can boat, you can ski, you can hunt, you can fish, you can golf, you can swim. I mean, you name it.
Actually, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Biking trails out 9 Mile and cross country skiing out there. And now they got a challenging bike course out at the what's that north of town here? Sylvan
Hill?
Sylvan Hill.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they just newly made that, I think,
Oh,
2
really?
years ago.
Hmm.
And they got some expert runs, and they got some starter runs, and they got a little BMX whoop-de-doo track on the top. So
Oh, wow.
it's a really great thing to, for the kids and anybody who likes to mountain bike. So
That's really cool. I didn't realize that.
Single track out at 9 Mile. I used to race out there years ago. And my best was a 5 out of 10 in my class. I was what was I? Citizens class, and it was fun. It was just something to do.
Yeah.
And I met Gary Fisher, and he signed my bike, so it was pretty cool. I used to sell Fisher bikes, or not sell them, but work on them at a shop that did sell them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not too familiar with him, but that name rings a bell.
Yeah, he was supposedly supposed to be one of the first true mountain biker guys to get the mountain bike thing going.
Yeah.
They used to ride clunkers, and they used to change their gears on their bicycles, and they would ride downhill.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And they were really into that stuff, and then they claimed to have. He has claimed to had invented the mountain bike. So.
Oh, okay.
So.
And does he have like a charity or something? Is that the Fisher House? Is that totally different? That's totally different, probably.
I'm not aware of.
No. Okay.
I'm not aware of that.
The Fisher House. What is that? I don't even know what that is. It just sounds.
That's the first I heard of it.
Anyways, okay. Well,
I know about the Fisher bike shop.
We better not make anything up that we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Tends to happen occasionally.
Yeah. Well, Gary, if you're listening, cool. You got cool bikes. I love them. I got 5, 6, 7 of them or whatever. But yeah. So good time. Love riding bikes, like working on them.
You notice the leaves are kind of falling already? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's just because it's dry. I keep telling myself it's because it's dry. We haven't had a lot of rain this year, but those leaves are yellow and they're falling.
It just starts to happen, and it's like,
it's not even that cold
I
yet.
know, and we got a big maple out that I look out my window, and there's this little spot that turns red every year, and I haven't seen that yet. But on the south side of our house, there's a nut tree. It's a butternut. It's starting to drop its leaves right now. So
and
that tree doesn't look real healthy.
Okay, as I say, it's August 20th.
Yeah, September. That is a little early there, but it starts. And I've seen trees when I pass down Double N. You look to the left, look to the right. You can see there's a couple of them there, and those are always the same ones every year. So I don't know if that has something to do with when they were planted, or I don't know how they're
interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's something in the soil there.
That makes sense.
But yeah, it seems to be the same ones every year, and then it's like progressively after that.
So your grandkids were over today, huh?
Yeah. We're riding a little Honda QA50.
Cool.
He just learned to ride that about 2 weeks ago, and
that's Malcolm, right?
Malcolm.
How old is he?
He's 7. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so there's no training wheels on it.
No, he's going. It's a 2-speed, but I didn't let him in on that second gear yet. He wants to go. He wants to go fast, and
he's getting his balance and learning how the bike.
He's doing real well. So, but I can't let him hit that second gear yet because and
then
he will. He'll
gone.
eventually step on it, and it'll be in it. And I think he did that the first time I let him ride it, but he didn't know how to downshift. He didn't know he was in second gear, but going downhill, it would go fast, but in going up the hill, it was not enough power,
Right.
So I shifted it, and then it was okay. He was back in first. I was happy. He was happy.
That's awesome. Davey was really excited after he saw you guys. He's like, "Dad, can we take our mini bike out? I want to drive." Mm-hmm. So he's learning how to use the throttle, and with that little mini bike I have, it's a Coleman CTU 200.
Yep.
Because of the throttle, there's a lot of play.
Yeah.
The response is really poor. So he's trying to figure that. It's like, well, if he can
Gotta
figure that out,
basically,
his little hand, and it's pretty much a little bit of throttle and then wide open is really all you got.
Yeah, right.
So he's figuring it out. So it's kind of fun actually just to see. I ride with him on the back, of course, and he steers a little, and it's just getting used to it, getting a feel for it, you know.
Like mowing the lawn, you know,
yeah.
you got to know the mower first before you start doing anything crazy. Of course, you don't do anything crazy about, you know, riding a lawnmower. It's just you got to know how to shift it. And, you know. Dirt bikes are fun though. I picked up a XR80R 1987 just this last weekend, and I paid $250 for it. And you and I worked on it, and set everything, the points. I changed the timing advance in there. I did the valves on the head. Everything was perfect. It ran good for a while. Then it stopped. It wasn't running anymore. And I did everything. I retimed it, looked at everything. Bought a new spark plug. Still no deal. So I'm thinking, well, let's just check to see if the wires are tight, you know. Well, I took the flywheel off and I put a wrench on the nut on the set of points, and it was loose. I tightened it up, boom, started right up.
Huh. There you go.
So simple thing, you know, you would never think. You know, people go years with their bikes not working for some weird reason. Well, check your electrical contact points for their tightness.
Right.
And then sometimes you got to take an ohm reading to see if the coil's bad or whatever.
I mean, that happens
that's
on
detail.
That happens on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, even just appliances around the house or like other random things. We'll check the plug, you know, or there's a loose connection or something pulled loose. There's just something, it's just not.
I bought a brand new not a wash machine, excuse me, a stove. It wasn't working right. It was kind of glitchy. It was working, then it wouldn't work. And then I thought, well, you know, time to get a new one, you know. Well, here, basically, all it was is a loose wire on the 220 cord in the back of the wire. All I had to do was tighten it up. It would have gone probably another 20 years, but we got a new stove.
You're already set up.
Nice black stain.
I'm sure Kathy had a little bit to do with that, huh?
Well,
speaking of the angel.
Oh, yeah. She is an angel.
Yep. So you guys have been... You have an anniversary coming up?
Yeah, the 20... I'm not even going to say it's in the 2020s.
A couple days then.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay. You do anything special? You going to take her out, wine and dine?
I'll take her out.
You going to wine and dine her?
Yeah.
You better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's worth it.
So how many years is that?
Let's see. 32?
32 years.
32, 33, somewhere around there. She knows.
At least somebody
She'll forgive
does.
me. She's pretty nice.
That's awesome. You guys have 2 children?
2 children, 4 grandchildren. Yeah, 2 daughters and 4 boys for grandkids.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, 4 boys.
Yeah. Well, we missed out on the daughters when we first had kids, so these grandkids came around. Now I got the boys, and I kind of raised my girls to like mini bikes. They know how to drive a dirt bike. I mean, they had a CR85. I mean, these were 2-stroke bikes, motocross bikes that I bought them, and they learned how to ride them. And they were very good at it. We never raced or anything, but we had the room to ride them. And they grew up. Now they both can ride motorcycles. You know, I think that's a kind of an important thing to know.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because if you ever get in a bind or something and you have to have a mode of transportation, hey, you got one more under your belt. You know, you can take a motorcycle if you have to.
For sure. Yeah, growing up around here, I mean, you kind of do. You just learn how to drive things.
Yeah.
So when I first moved to Florida, it was I worked on a construction crew. Not when I first, but when I lived in Florida, I worked on a construction crew. It was a framing crew, and we had different various machines. We had to rent boom lifts and stuff like that, and I could drive each one, and nobody had to show me how to drive it. In fact, the boom lift was on the job site one day. We were doing this 3-story commercial building. We were doing the roof, and our the contractor who was in charge of it, our boss, he had rented this boom lift. Well, nobody could figure out how to drive it on the crew, so we did everything we could until we had to put the fascia on and get all this work done on the roof. And I didn't say anything. You know, like, all right. So it was lunch break. Everyone's on break. I'm like, I'm just going to go down there and start it and bring it over. Because I didn't want to be like, oh, Drew, I know how to do it. You know, watch this. And I'm like kind of the new guy. So I fire it up. I bring it around the building, you know, and the guys are like, I like boom it up to the window because we're on the 2nd floor eating lunch, you know. It's like, you guys need a lift. You know how to drive that? It's like, and it just, I worked on a construction crew here for a short period of time with my neighbor, my parents' neighbor. Anyways, in this area, to your, what you're saying about your kids, you kind of just learn how to drive some things.
Yeah, tractors and stuff. Yeah.
And if you learn on a tractor, you can kind of get pretty much anything. It's like, okay, there's a clutch, and there's usually a gear, and there's usually a throttle, and there's usually a neutral or some sort of a safety mechanism, whether it's sitting on the seat or, whatever it is, or maybe, you kind of check all those things, and then you slowly get it rolling. You kind of know what to do. Okay, this does this does that. And, in the hydraulics, that's all pretty much the same.
Yep.
It's... Anyways, so I think growing up around here it was really cool.
Yeah.
Tons of benefits. A lot of, even just the attitude, the work ethic of, I think, Midwest folks is a little bit higher, than most other places I've been.
Yeah, that brings up a topic too. We got such a low unemployment rate around here. It's like around 2%. So the workforce is getting really hard to pick from.
Sure.
And it's getting to the point where the people who are working have to cover more overtime because they can't hire the people that they need because they're not out there. And if they are out there, they're either coming from the jails, or they don't want to work, or they can't work, disability, or,
Sure, they're limited maybe a little bit.
Yeah, so it's really tough to find help, period.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, people who can stand on their feet, when unemployment's around whatever it is now, 3% or something like that.
That's 2, yeah.
2%?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Marathon
So that
County.
really just leaves people who probably would love to work, they're just unfortunately disabled for whatever reason. And maybe they can't stand for that whole shift, or like you said, wow, that's a tough place to be in, really.
Yeah, so the high rate of retirement and all the knowledge that these companies are losing due to the fact that the retirement is going away, and you can't hire people fast enough to train them before you lose that knowledge.
Sure.
Now you're stuck with machinery that, how are we going to run this stuff,
Wow.
So that's kind of what we're going through at our place right now.
So what's the youngest person would you say that works there, probably? And
20.
Okay, so there are, but in what percentage or so makes up that?
I think the average age of the person that works there, I think, is like 50, 56, 55.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so, it's getting to the turnover point where, I don't know, it's going to be a younger crowd coming in, so, or, I don't know how they're going to do it, but, and I believe from what I hear, that's kind of the way it is all over, finding help.
Yeah. Right. A couple of years ago, it was like, you couldn't, there weren't enough jobs or something, and now all of a sudden
flip
it's
side.
like, just flip. I mean, that's bizarre. So, but they are saying that, it's, that's just the way the economy is. I don't know if that's how it has to be or whatever, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know much about economics, to be honest with you.
Well, it was the baby boomers from after World War II. The war was ended. Everybody had kids. They had 8, 10, 12 kids, or whatever. And
that's the workforce now.
That's the workforce that's retiring now.
Retiring. Okay.
Yeah. So now after that, everybody's like, 2 kids is only affordable,
Sure.
So now after 30, 40 years, now the baby boomers are retiring. That were the majority of the workforce. I'm at the end of it. I'm 56. So when those people are retired, you're left with the era that the boom wasn't in. So now your needed workforce is getting to be more demanding, but there's not people to fill the spots, so to speak. Blah blah blah. But
yeah. No, that's interesting because it's it just seems like, oh, nobody wants to work and this and that. And that's probably part of it, I guess. But,
it's just getting tougher to work, being a worker, because you got to work more and, in a factory setting,
Because they won't.
They can't hire. There's nobody out there, So they're getting double shifted and, what used to be 12-hour shift, they would work like 3 days one week and 4 days the next. Well, now it's 6 days in a row, 12 hours, and so
wild. Yeah, there's a lot of people moving into ASSA, but they're in they're in other workforces, other work fields. A lot of it is medical,
accounting and medical. Yeah, we got the big hospital and stuff.
Yeah. So at the salon I work at, I'm constantly meeting new people that are moving into ASSA from various areas, and they're getting recruited. Even like Church Mutual up in Merrill.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Wow. They I just talked to a guy. They just recruited him and his family, and they moved up here and work there. Pretty cool. Yeah. So we have Foot Locker here in Wausau, actually, and a couple other pretty cool companies too. So there is a slight draw, but
there is a lot of things to do here.
Yeah.
If you're outdoorsy and you like and
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely got to be outdoors oriented.
Right.
So, yeah, man. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for filling in.
Hey, no problem. If you need me again, let me know. And
just your shot away.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks for bringing your Winston guitar. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like it. It's
got to play that a little bit.
Yeah.
Right on, and sharing all your stuff. All right, man. We'll talk soon.
Oh yeah. All right.
Adios.
After all you've been through, that's true. It's got to fade and change. A new day dawns for you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ryan and Dave Save the World. Special thanks to my neighbor for filling in and sharing a little bit about his life. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to give us a like and go ahead and subscribe too. We'd appreciate it. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can email us at ryananddavesavetheworld@gmail.com.